The biggest obstacle I see with most business owners is focus, right? And where the problem is that we have so many ideas, we have so many things that we want to do, we have so many ventures that it's hard to focus. And I said, this is my own thing where I'm coming through and having conversations as I continue to battle this hurdle and then going to talk to other entrepreneurs. I've seen that the number one thing, focus, right? So I want to talk about my framework of plan, execute, review. But before I go into that, I really want to go deep on this and talk about focus, right? So we start off right. I started a business with my mom and we started a cleaning business together. And I mean, from the gate, it was great. And I'm gonna tell you, and I always look at what made it great, because a lot of people came to me and it was like, hey, you know business. And I really had to say, yeah, but it's not that I know business, it's that my mom was a great cleaner. We had a great product, right? Then I did the marketing and we worked as a team, right? So she made sure that everything was good, because that's one of the biggest things I always think that people don't have a problem with. People have a problem with is client delivery and understanding their client delivery. So just going back to that to say that we came out, we were totally focused. We went everywhere. We did everything we had to do. I passed out flyers. I talked to people. I was at Chamber of Commerce meetings. I did everything that needed to be done to grow the business. And we quickly grew the business, right? And it was something that I didn't really realize, that because we were so focused, that's why the business grew so fast. But of course, with success, more opportunities come. And as these opportunities come, we started saying, oh, let's try this, let's try that, let's do these other things. Let me do something that's not even in the business, right? And that hindered the business from growing to where it could go to. And it could have gotten to that space a lot faster if I would have just stayed growing. Now people can say, hey, there's a lot of ifs. No, focus. And because when we did something totally different, we got a different result. When the focus wasn't there, as I started reviewing it, there wasn't there. And I ask everybody, what do you do? And everybody has a minimum of two or three businesses. And I said, oh, they're all making $1 million. They're all or they're even sufficiently able to take care of you to go try another business, right? Is the one business allowing you to have your paycheck? But people have a job, a side hustle, or three. And I'm like, why don't you focus on one thing, get that off the ground? Now, if you want to say, hey, let me make this where I'm comfortable enough, where the business is running, I'm making enough money, then I want to go try something else, that's cool. But if you still have to juggle and fight to make money to be able to even survive off this one business, focus on that. And I have to, and I say that because I want to learn that. Now, the next thing is, how far do you want to take the business? Because you have that first step where it's like, all right, my business is doing well enough, I'm going to venture off into something else, right? My business is well enough, I'm going to venture off into something else. But then the next ladder is, how great do you want this business to be? How amazing, what is it that you want to impact? Because even if your first goal is to make money, that's one. But if your next goal is to make impact, how are you going to make that impact if you don't go deep in your industry, in what you're doing, in how you go? Right? So just going that deep and waking up every day and saying, hey, this is my business. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm going. And I just wanted to go with that because I wanted to start out with focus, right? Understanding that, because I'm reiterating this again, because it is such a deep problem that we want to do 80 million things and have 50 million ideas. And I don't say just throw your ideas away. I have another video talking about the ideas bank, making sure that you're banking on these ideas and then revisiting them every month or every quarter to see where you want, adding context to them, so you don't just get frustrated and have all your ideas and try to throw them away. So you want to always have an idea bank, because great ideas do come from that. And the last thing I want to say about focus, about pivoting, because people are like, well, what happens if I want to pivot? My pivot is either it's it's hell yes, I heard this, hell yes, or no. If it's not, like, this is an amazing opportunity, once in a lifetime, I'm ready to go down this path, this is my mission, it's aligned up with everything I'm doing. If that's not it, then I'm not doing that. I'm not changing for that. It has to be that kind of thing to get me off the path I'm on. A lot of people come to me with business opportunities or business ideas, and I said, that's for people who don't have a plan. I understand you say this is amazing. I'm not saying that what your business opportunity or what your business thing is not amazing, but that's not my, but I already have a plan. Excuse me. I already have a plan. So I have to stay focused on this plan. Not saying that your thing won't make money, not saying that it's the next gazillionaire idea or anything like that, but it's not aligned with my mission. It's not something that I really want to do. I'm not sure about it. So I'm going to have to pass. Right. Now let's get into it, right? So the PER, right? Plan, execute, review. And I always start with the planning because a lot of times people skip over this part right here, which is having a plan of how their year, month, week, day, hour is even going to go. So we always I have an activity tracker, which is just like what am I doing every hour? Am I actually getting things done and understanding that? Now, the planning part comes in. The first thing is to be clear on what you're trying to accomplish. A lot of times people just get up and be like, I want to make more money. What does that mean? Like, you want to make more money, and I'm saying in your business. We're talking strictly in your business right here. So if you're in your business, whatever it is, if you want to say, hey, we need to grow revenue, what's the number one problem stopping you from growing revenue? Is it doing more marketing? Is it advertising more? Is it getting referrals? What is the number one thing that you're not doing in your business to get more money? Hey, I want to get more time back. All right, what are the tasks that you have on your plate that you haven't tried to delegate? And then try to ruthlessly delegate those things. What do you need to be able to do to be able to accomplish that mission? And that has to be the number one thing. Now we get even deeper. Okay, we need to pass out flyers. Okay, how often do we need to pass out flyers? 3 times a day, 5 times a day, every week? What is it that we need to do? We say, hey, this is going to be the number one mechanism. So this is my most important thing. So that goes back to what we call the 3-in-1, right? And understanding that, hey, I want to get 3 things done today. These are my 3 most important things, but this is my number one thing that I'm going to get. For me right now, it's content, right? Every morning I get up and I said, all right, Clive, you have to make a video. You have to make a video. This is what you're going to have to do. Make a video. I have to put out time for script writing, right? And now, right now, because I'm learning the content and I'm understanding, I'm getting better at it, is that every day is just a refinement of the process, because that's my number one focus. Are there other things to do? Yes. And this goes back to getting up early before anybody does this. It's now early in the morning, and to make sure that I'm doing this before my day even starts. Because what I've seen is when you try to do that important thing later on in the day, it's a lot of times it doesn't happen. A lot of times it doesn't happen because there's a lot of fires that come through, especially when you are the founder, the CEO, the person that makes all the decisions, that people rest on you. You have you and a lot of helpers or something like that. A lot of fires come to you, right? And you don't have your day cleared. So if you're at that point where you don't have you have your day cleared, you have to start early in the morning. You have to start early before anybody gets up. You have to make sure. Now, if you're a solo business, same thing. Before the fire of you have to go put the work in, you have to go do the cleaning, you have to go do the pressure washing, you have to go do whatever it takes. You have to get up hours before that. And for those hours before that, you have to actually go and execute, right? You have to actually go in and make sure that you're doing the work that you need to do. So you want to be able to say, hey, I'm planning, right? As they say, it's better if you're going to chop down a tree, it's better to make sure that you have the axe already sharpened, that you know where the axe is at, that you have everything organized. And that's my next point about planning, is making sure that you have all the tools you need, making sure that you have everything you need to execute with, and that you're ready. And that brings us to number 2, which is execute. Now, a lot of people like to plan. A lot of people like to execute. It's hard to find people who like to do one or the other, right? And the planning and just constant planning adds to procrastination, and constant execution is just something that you just a lot of destruction comes in the wake a lot of times when there's just execution. And I know when people say, yo, there's a bias for action. There's a bias for action. Yes, want to have a bias for action. That is exactly right. But we still can, that doesn't mean we can negate planning. That doesn't mean we shouldn't plan. We should be saying, hey, I'm going to execute. And when the time comes to pull the trigger, you have to believe in the plan. You can't, there's the part where I think that people have is they make the plan, and then when it's time to execute, they don't execute. They don't put it in. Now, what does execution look like, right? Execution is, hey, having the time when I actually do these things. When is my time block? When are we actually executing and putting in the work? Now, I'm not talking about an execution of in the business work, right? Serving clients, putting out fires. I'm talking about execution of the things that are moving the needle in the business. Everything here we're talking about is moving the needle in the business, right? So if that's whether doing content, whether that's passing out flyers, whether that's focusing on your ads, whether that's doing creatives, whether that's social media, whether that's even optimize it for your clients, whether that's delivering the service better to your clients, right? That could be the optimization that you need and the execution where you're working on that every day. It's like, hey, how do we get this client's better results? I don't want to just be like a marketing thing. There is the operational side. How do we need to go get our numbers together. I don't want to know nothing. Nothing can happen until we have all of our finances together so that we know that all of our KPIs are together. What is the number one thing? This is what you need to be able to do. Now, once that number one thing and you execute it and you're focused on it, right? You know what's going on. Now, you need to be able to have that time where you're doing it. You need to block out the time where you're doing it, and you need to have a environment where there's no distractions. One of the things I've learned is people don't realize when you focus that much or when you're in that zone, they don't know how you're working, so they don't mind coming up. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? That's why I used to work in restaurants a lot, and I had to stop that because it was a lot of times not even just people bothering me bothering people. I enjoy having a conversation. I enjoy talking with people, and understanding that I had to get into a zone where I was just by myself, locked in. There was just me, right? So just go to the office, sit down, and just talk to nobody else and just be in the zone, right? So we have 2 hour block times where I just go in for 2 hours and work on nothing but that. Been working on this content, writing it out, seeing what we're doing. And this comes back to the last part, which is review. Right? So just the same thing with these videos. Content is the number one thing for me right now. So what am I doing? I have to plan it out, write out the scripts. I have to execute it, which we're doing right now. And then I have to review it. Look at the video. What could I have done better? Could I have been clearer? Getting feedback from people. So these are the things that you want to do is get the feedback and review it. So this review comes in a lot of forms where it's like where I'm going to review this video. Then I'm going to review all my videos. Then I'm going to review the process, right? What is the process? Not just the video, but how do we script it out? Am I scripting it good? How are we putting it, posting it? Where are we posting it to? Are all these things going on that we want to have this whole content process together? So we want to make sure that we're looking at it. So I just look at the plan, execute, review model, making sure that we're focused on what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We say, hey, this is my plan. This is what I'm focused on. This is what I'm prioritizing. This is what I'm going after. Execute what we're going to actually do, making sure that we put the work in. Yes, a bias for action with the plan behind it, and making sure we review it so that we can get it better, optimize it, look at what happened, and we can make that better. All right. I hope that helped you guys for today, right? Stay focused, stay blessed. Have a great day.